Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World of Marketing, where I talk to industry leaders about marketing mindset and business growth. This episode is brought to you by my own company, Foster Web Marketing. Foster Web Marketing is dedicated to providing cutting-edge, highly customizable websites, marketing, video, and strategic solutions specifically designed for law firms, medical practices, and other professional service businesses. Our award-winning web technology and marketing systems set us apart from everyone else. Please visit our new website at fosterwebmarketing.com if you want to know more. But today is about my good friend, Vance Morris, who is a former birth control factory security guard turned Disney leader, turned bankrupt out-of-work executive, turned carpet cleaner, turned successful entrepreneur. Vance Morris is a Walt Disney World resort management alumni, having spent 10 years as a leader in the resorts. He runs the only XPerience systems and direct response marketing business on the planet. Here he coaches companies to create experience service systems and then monetize them through direct response marketing. And he's also the longest reigning marketer of the year, 2015 to 2019 at GKIC. No BS. So, Vance, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thank you. And the crowd goes wild.
That's right. Well, you're a very popular
Tom.
guy.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for, this is the second time we've done this. The first time was in my office, and then the tapes mysteriously disappeared. So, we're redoing it again. I appreciate your patience with us.
Sure.
And,
you're going to find them, and then we'll have like that long lost episode that you can publish then.
Yeah, we'll find it again, right? And we'll say, this is it. Maybe we'll find it before we publish this one. We'll see.
It's all good.
It's all good. So tell me a little bit. I was curious about your timeline, because I knew about the carpet business. I didn't know about the bankruptcy.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that was in there.
Yeah, I know. So you had so tell me a little bit about the timeline. Tell us about the timeline.
It has been like a roller coaster. And I don't want to be that cliche guy that, oh, woe's me, I was in a car wreck and then my life flashed before my eyes and here I am. But it's just part of who I am. So, after I left Disney, and people are always amazed, oh my God, you left? Why do people leave? That was kind of like the beginning of the end for me, realizing that I don't make a great employee because I don't like to be told what to do.
I can relate.
Yeah. You can understand that.
Yes, very much.
So I had a few more corporate jobs while I was going through before I started my own business. Two of them, I honestly say I like to say I retired or resigned or was laid off, but in actuality, I was probably fired. Again, another indication that being an employee is probably not for me. So I after the second layoff, I decided I'm going to do my own thing. And I looked at a lot of different businesses. I mean, I looked at restaurants. I looked at, Five Guy franchises, which, by the way, you cannot find one in the U.S. They're all sold out. Good for them, by the way.
Yeah.
I looked at dry cleaning businesses, fruit smooth. I mean, you name it, I looked at them. And I was actually using a franchise headhunter. And I didn't know there was such a thing. And so he kept talking about this carpet cleaning business. And I was like, well, I barely vacuum. He goes, no. They've got a great product. And with your background in service, it'd be a great great marriage. Okay, fine. So that's kind of how I got into the carpet cleaning business. Where things started to fall apart was I was literally about 6 days after I signed the contracts for this carpet cleaning franchise. My wife suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and was, we almost lost her a couple times. And she was a big regional manager for Starbucks at the time. And we were going to live off her salary while I got the business up and running. Well, her salary went up in smoke. She's better now, so that's the good thing. But so we went from, a nice, mid 6-figure family down to, literally zero overnight. So I had no choice but to make the business work. And so for, a number of months, probably 7 or 8, I started in 07, which is a great year to start a business, right? 08, it's when everything's blowing up financially. And in hindsight, it actually was a good thing because I never knew any better. I never had a gravy train. Before 07, right. You could throw out a full page Yellow Pages ad, and that's all you needed. You had business coming in. And by
that's kind of when things started happening for me in 07.
Right.
Too.
Was that when you really started picking up?
That's really when things started happening for me. That's when that's really when I started working with Ben.
Okay.
And was introduced. Before then, I was kind of doing websites for everybody, but that's when I really started focusing on lawyers. Anyway, go ahead.
Our trajectory, kind of mirrors each other. We did end up, losing the house. I just couldn't pay it anymore. Did the bankruptcy thing. Not proud of it, but again, it is what it is. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The funny thing was, and I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but at the time when I first started, I didn't even have a car. I had a carpet cleaning van. My wife had a car, but I didn't. And if you ever want to completely traumatize your children, take them to soccer practice in your carpet cleaning van. Just completely scarred them for life. Dad, can you just drop us off down the street?
Just at the corner, right?
So smartly, I found some really smart people in the marketing of carpet cleaning businesses, some really smart coaches, same guys, Joe Polish, Dan Kennedy, etc. Really turned the business around. And by 2012, we were humming along. I had 3 trucks on the road, getting ready to do a 4th. I was not cleaning anymore, which was nice. And then people started to ask me about, how the hell did you do all this, Vance? So I started telling people, and then I realized, well, why am I telling you people for free? I should charge you for my information. So in 2015 is when I launched my coaching business, which brings us to today.
Wow. But that is coaching. Well, is that coaching for any business, or is that coaching for the carpet cleaning business?
No, I decided that carpet cleaners, the ones with money, were few and far between. And so while I had affinity with them, I broadly work with professional services now. So attorney, accountant, financial planner. I just find they are a lot more coachable. They are willing to, kind of do what needs to be done. A lot of the, and this is, I'm one of them. I'm a home service guy. I still own 3 home service businesses. I haven't let them go. But a lot of them just they're solopreneurs. They're one truck guys, and they don't have the time or the desire to change. So really working with professional service folks has been my sweet spot.
Very good. And then when did you start the Disney XPerience?
Yeah, so I was at a meeting in 2015, 2016. I was at a mastermind meeting with Dan Kennedy with a whole bunch of his titanium members. And when it came to my turn, I was introducing myself, and I said, "Hi, yeah, I'm Vance. Here's what I do. I've implemented all this Disney stuff in a carpet cleaning business. Become pretty good at this direct response marketing stuff. And, I'm looking for kind of my next step." And one guy, I'll never forget, at the end of the table said, "I'd pay you to take me around Disney." Well, okay. And the Disney XPerience stuff was literally born in that instant. And Kennedy looked over at me and said, "All right, looks like you got a new business. Do you need anything else?" So
that's great.
So yeah, so I've been last 8 years. I've been doing that. It's just grown. I'm doing six events.
Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us
about the growth, or
about the Disney XPerience.
Oh, sure.
Tell us what that is.
Disney has figured out how to create experiences out of everyday mundane things that we have to do. Answering the telephone, giving directions. I mean, these are all boring, mundane, commoditized things that we all have to do. Disney's just figured out how to make an experience out of it. I started taking business groups down to Disney for 3-day full immersion into Disney experiences. It was half classroom, half in the parks. And one of the things, the big question always is, well, why Disney? I mean, I'm a home inspector. I don't have roller coasters. I don't have a theme park. Why would I want to try and copy what Disney does? And my answer is well, you don't. I mean, unless you own a theme park, you don't want to copy them. But what you want to do is adapt what Disney does in the experience world, in the pricing world, and adapt it to your industry or niche. And that's really the big thing, you look at all the great innovations in the world, and they've come from outside of other businesses. I mean, the whole, drive-through at the McDonald's, came about by some, McDonald's guy, sitting at the bank waiting to make a deposit. And he's at the drive-through deposit thing, and he's looking at that, the tube you shove your deposit in, and it whips up over to the teller. And he's probably thinking to himself, well, how do I get a milkshake into that? All of the big innovations, all of the big moves forward, honestly, you got to stop looking at your individual niche and look outside of it and see where things work.
Yeah. Right.
So,
and you take that, what Disney does, and Disney knows how to treat people.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, and how to apply that to your own businesses. And I tell you what, lawyers need that. Lawyers need it. They still need it. I mean, like how to treat people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody does. I mean, we all get caught up in the minutia of the work, the delivery of the product or the delivery of the service. And we forget why people refer us. And you can put all of the little tchotchke, hey, I'll give you a $5 coffee coupon if you refer business to me. That's not the reason people refer. I mean, people refer because it makes them feel good. And if you make somebody feel good, that's what they're going to remember. They're not, sure, they're going to remember you won their case, no doubt. But, were you an SOB to deal with? would you
Right.
refer your grandmother to your attorney? No, you don't want grandma feeling that way. But if the way you made your client feel is what they are truly going to remember, and remembering what business you're really in, Disney knows what business they're in. They're in the making memories business. I mean, yes, they got theme parks and movies and all that stuff, but when, I hate to pick on grandmas, but, when grandma is getting ready to die, she's got 3 months to live. What does the family do? They pack up grandma, they plunk her in a wheelchair, and they take her to Disney. And they wheel her all around the parks, and they all take pictures of grandma. Now, because now they have created memories. They don't care about the rides or the, $9 popcorn. They care about the memories they just made with grandma. And so, what are the emotions that you're evoking when you're working with clients? Do they feel trusted? Do they feel listened to? I mean, there's all emotions, and we got to figure out a way to tap into those so that it does get people to remember you for how you made them feel.
And it's very important, not just the attorney themselves, but their staff, right? I mean, like that's the thing, is that at Disney, it's not the CEO, right? It's not the owner that's relating to the people, it's the staff. And that's what's so important, is the training of the staff. How are they answering? How is your staff answering the phone? How are they treating people? Even people that you can't sign up for a case, that is the biggest thing, is that's what lawyers deal with more than anything else, is those cases that they can't sign up, those cases that are out of their geolocation, whether they can't serve them because they're in a different state or whatever. That happens all the time. And if they don't serve them well, you're going to get a nasty review.
Right.
And those are just the facts. So what you provide is very important, and what everybody should. And I'm on your email list, and I got to tell you, and I've told you this, I love your emails. They're like the only emails I actually read.
Oh, geez. Thank you.
Well, I know that you write them. They're totally
Exactly.
They're totally you. And I appreciate the fact that you take the time to write them. They're very well done.
Thank you. Appreciate
So
that.
I recommend everybody get on Vance Morris's email list, if you're not already, because it's really good. And he points out, he's very funny. It's very clever. He's always pointing out where businesses fail in taking care of clients, and it's always got a comedic edge to it, and entertaining,
Well,
and
you can't
true.
have fun. Right?
You're right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You can't have fun. But, you brought something up about, the employees, and, that is really where a lot of this just completely falls apart. And, because, Marge at the front desk, she might be jolly and happy at 8 a.m. And answer the phone in a relatively pleasant way. But by 5 p.m, Marge is tired. Marge wants to go home. Is she changing her tune when she answers the phone? I mean, just because of the time of day, why should a client who calls at 5, or a prospect who calls at 5, get any less of a great experience than someone who calls at 8 o'clock in the morning, just because Marge is tired? And people have to realize, Walt smartly, when he set things up, said, especially with the theme parks, is that you are an actor. This is for the employees. You're an actor in my show, and my show has got to be on spot all the time. Because I mean, think about it. If you went to see the show Hamilton and the lead actor was having a bad night, I mean, there's you paid $300 for that ticket, and you go and demand your money back, saying, hey, this guy sucked tonight. And so actors can't have a bad night. And if you can
Right.
get your employees to have that mentality that, at 4:59 in the afternoon, you've got a $500,000 or a seven-figure case prospect calling at 4:59. It's a slam dunk, but Marge is tired and answers it grumpily. Did you just kiss a seven-figure prospect goodbye just because of the way Marge answered the phone?
Right. Or that could be a seven-figure case for somebody else in a different state that
Yep.
if you had a referral program set up that you could take the time to refer that, get a referral fee, and also perhaps get a good review instead of a bad review because
Yep.
because Marge handled it poorly because she was cranky and wasn't well trained.
Yeah, and
And
I
you didn't have the
apologize to anybody
system
named
set
Marge.
up. Yeah. That's a great name in this case. But it's all about having your system set up for this.
Right.
And that's what you teach everybody. You teach your people is how to have systems and the processes to set for this customer experience.
Yeah.
And you've got several coming up in the future of these where you take people take groups down to Disney. Don't you have several coming up?
I've got one coming up in October. So this is one of my events as opposed to me working for another client. So, and I like doing these because it's not just all home inspectors or all financial planners. It's an eclectic mix of people. And we really go down and we look at Disney systems. And you got to remember who works at Disney. Primarily it's all very young people, 17, 18, 19 years old. And if Disney had complex systems, nothing would happen. It would all fall apart. So when you're creating your systems, you got to make sure they're simple and that anybody can execute them. I mean, Disney runs on 3 words. So every system at Disney is 3 words: what to do, how to do it, and why we do it that way. And it's that why that so many businesses forget. And that's where you truly get your great employee engagement. People buying in is because it's no longer, well, the boss says so. No, we answer the phone this way because it separates us from our competitors. It makes the prospect feel good. It's a one leg up on being able to sign them, et cetera. So all the reasons why. And I think as business owners, we miss that a lot of times. Telling our employees, this is why we do it. If they understand why, now they can also help you improve those systems. Because if you just told them, here's what to do and here's how to do it, and that was the end of it, it's almost like a dictatorship. And this is it. Well, if Marge has a better way of doing it, if she understands why we do it, well, now she can think to herself, well, this is the reason we do it. Maybe if I did this, we would get, a better ROI or a better rating when they go out to a review site. So having that why in there is vital, and it gets people, your employees, better engaged with your company.
Yeah. And so when you take people down to Disney, what is that experience like? Talk to me a little bit about this October
we
experience.
start off. I mean, I hate letting the cat out of the bag, but there is what I call the big wow event. It's on the first night, and it's usually it's outside usually, and it is a magnificent 9-course wine pairing dinner. sitting in front of Cinderella Castle. You can't get this anywhere else. And I don't know about you. I haven't been to that many 9-course wine pairing dinners.
No.
I mean, it takes 3 hours to get through this thing.
Wow.
But it sets the tone for what the next 3 days are going to be all about, which is creating an experience, one that, I mean, that's how people, they'll leave with 2 notebooks full of information, but all they talk about is that darn dinner. Which is fine because, well, it's fine because you want your business to be tellable. You want people to talk about it. And if that's what they remember, it's tying into their emotions. And it's great because we have the chef and the sommelier get together and they do little presentations and things. It's really cool the way we do that. Then the next day, we'll spend half a day in the classroom. We're going over, how Disney makes the sausage. At the end of the 3 days, the goal is for you to have a blueprint on how you're going to implement this Disney style experience in your practice. And so we'll spend some time in the classroom. We have a nice lunch, and then we go to one of the parks where we'll tour one of the theme parks for 3 or 4 hours. And essentially everything that we learned in the classroom in the morning, we go and we see in action Disney providing it in the park. And so it's really, it's a great marriage of here's the practical stuff and here's the implementation of the stuff so they can see it and take it back with them when they leave. Then we have a really cool, really cool dessert buffet. It's more sugar than anybody should ever have in their life. But we have a private reception for the fireworks, and I just bust it all out. I mean, it's all sugar and caffeine, which is what you need at 8:30 at night, right? And your kids are invited. Get them all hopped up on sugar too. And then the next day is a repeat of that. We'll do more classroom stuff. We'll go into a different theme park, maybe the Magic Kingdom or Epcot. And we, look at different systems. We look at different delivery mechanisms. We look at their marketing because, yes, there are a lot of lessons you can learn about marketing from Disney and how to implement those in your business. And then really the piece that brings it all together is the last couple hours where it's time to put your blueprint together. What are your commitments going to be when we leave? Because if you don't write it down, it's going to be a nice 3-day vacation and you're going to get back Monday morning and you're going to be like, oh, crap. Whereas, I take the time to literally, let's put the implementation plan on paper. Now you can go out drinking your face off later, have a nice dinner or whatever, but let's get this at least preliminary plan. So Monday morning when you hit the road and you're back to work, here are the things that you can start implementing.
That's great. That is a very full 3 days.
It is. And we've lost a couple of people due to exhaustion. We didn't lose them, but they were like, I just can't go on. I can't go on.
They're still down there. They're still lost down in Disney.
Yeah, they're still there. So, but never fear. We'll plop you in a wheelchair and one of us will push you around. So
that's funny. How does somebody get more information about this, Vance?
Sure. Best bet is to, you can go to my website, deliverservicenow.com. And there's a little opt-in box. And when you do that, I'll go ahead. One, you'll get a free copy of my book, which everybody, usually enjoys. It's kind of like my whole program. It's like the Cliff Notes version of the whole program. So even if you just get the book, there's a lot to digest there. But I'll go ahead and I'll send you all of the information. It's a great thing because you can bring your family. And while you're in the parks or in the class, your family can be enjoying a vacation. The other thing is that the rate I get on the hotel room is amazing. It's like 70% off rack rate. And so if you wanted to make a vacation out of it and come a couple days early or stay a couple days late, you get my special rate for those additional nights. So it's really if you want to go to Disney, this is a great way to go because it's going to cost you a hell of a lot less than any other time.
Well, when I told my wife about this and my podcast with you, upcoming podcast, she was very intrigued and very excited about the prospect of going to Disney and taking the kids. So, I'm very interested myself in doing this trip. You and I talked about it, so I'm very interested in bringing my 15-year-old and my 12-year-old down there.
Definitely.
They're that perfect age.
Definitely. Oh yeah, it's great. And they can join in the classroom if they want, if they're budding entrepreneurs.
I think they'd rather be at the park. They're not that.
I'd say I blame them.
They're not that budding yet.
Okay.
But you never know. You never know. You never know. They could surprise me.
Yep.
Well, buddy, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
It is always good to see you, my friend, and talk to you. And I appreciate you sharing this with my crew. And
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you. Even if it's the second time.
Even if it's the second time. We'll find the first one. But we didn't talk about this, I don't think. We didn't talk about the October event in the first one. So this is good.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we did.
All right, buddy. All right. Well, you have yourself a wonderful summer, and I will be talking to you shortly, my man.
Great. Thank you very much, Tom. You have a good one.
All right, everybody. It's Tom Foster and Vance Morris on the World of Marketing. You guys take care. Talk to you soon. Bye now.